goes center field. He wins the game.
Baby.
Enjoy this great game.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hum Baby Baseball channel. Today we're doing another team preview. It's going to be the Philadelphia Phillies, and we got the Phillies expert on hand, Luke from Phillies Hot Stove Media. So go check out his channel. I'm going to put a link in the description. I'm going to put a link in the comment section and pin that. Go over there to Phillies Hot Stove Media. Hit that subscribe button. And I appreciate you being here today. And obviously, a lot is going on here with the Phillies. They've already made some big signings this offseason, including Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber, got that deal done, a whole lot of others. And I just want to get your thoughts just overall on the offseason. And are you happy about how it's gone so far?
I mean, this is great, man. I mean, we're definitely going to be hitting a lot of tanks, that's for sure. I mean, this offense is definitely going to be lethal. There's no question about that, especially if we can stay healthy. I think one thing I'm a little bit disappointed in is the bullpen. And, this seems like every year that I'm disappointed in this bullpen. I mean, I like the Brad Hand pickup a lot. The Jeurys Familia signing, I mean, $6 million for this. I mean, that's the thing. You pay Hand and Familia both $6 million. Hand definitely worth the $6 million, not Familia. And I just think that there's really not much of a debate there. I think that $6 million for Familia definitely an overpay. But the Corey Knebel signing, I was definitely a huge fan of. I love what he did with the Dodgers in 2001. Right. He was great, but I mean, I was disappointed to see Kenley Jansen to slip away to the Atlanta Braves. And if Middleton, I mean, he went over the tax, he did it. So I don't know why he wouldn't just snag Kenley Jansen while he was at it. I'm a little disappointed about that. I think we really just need a good, solid closer, guy you can just hand the ball to on the ninth inning and just comfortably say, okay, I think we got it. I still don't have that feeling.
Yeah, a good point. The Phillies bullpen has been, I mean, at least you added, though. Corey Knebel was $10 million, though. I thought that was quite a bit, but you needed to, So $10 million for Corey Knebel, Jeurys Familia, you mentioned, Brad Hand, you mentioned. So it just kind of depends on what kind of season they have. But, I mean, those are pretty good names, so we'll see. And but, I mean, you got to be happy about getting Castellanos. You get Schwarber.
Oh, my gosh.
That's awesome, and you didn't really,
huge, man. Yeah,
didn't really lose too many. I mean, yeah, Andrew McCutchen, but it's not like you lost Bryce Harper,
Right. I mean, Hector Neris, in my opinion, I mean, for our bullpen, and I think that was kind of a big loss. I mean, I understand that everybody hates the name here in this city, but you know what? I mean, he wasn't a good closer. I mean, all the Phillies fans know that, but this is a guy that did well in the setup role. You saw it in 2016. When he was one of the setup guys, and he was great. I think he had an ERA around 250 or so. And even this year, last season, I mean, he was just great in the setup. But when he was in that spot, he did very, very well. But he's just not a good closer, and I think we just misused him. And I was disappointed to see him go to the Astros.
Yeah, I can understand that. But your rotation, let's check out the rotation real quick, and we're going to go through the rotation, the lineup. Yep. And the bullpen real quick. And this is what they show right now. Obviously, if you think it'll be different, go ahead and let me know. But yeah, we have Zack.
Yeah, I don't think Nola. Ranger's going to be a 5-starter. I just don't.
Oh, no?
No. And Zack Wheeler's not going to be ready for opening day with shoulder soreness, and Zach Duffin also will not be ready for opening day as well.
Oh, really?
This is where the rotation's health, it really isn't the best. And hopefully Ranger Suarez can continue the success that he had in 2021 into 2022. I mean, he just was great. And of course, he started out as the closer for a little while. Then he just did so well. Originally he was a starter. Then they just put him back there because he just wasn't really a good starter at the beginning of his career. But he really came to form in 2021. Hopefully, this rotation, once Eflin's health gets settled and Wheeler's health gets settled, hopefully it can be healthy from there on out. But I have my concerns.
So who's going to be in the rotation for opening day if it's not going to be Wheeler?
Honestly, I mean, this is it's a question mark, man. I mean, Aaron Nola is definitely going to be the opening day starter. There's no question about that. I don't really think there's much doubt about that. I think Joe Girardi's even kind of alluded to that already. But Kyle Gibson will be there. Of course, I mean, he's fine. He's going to start tomorrow against the Braves. And Ranger Suarez, I think he's going to be number 2. Going into the season. As I said, I mean, this is when it's just not a very good situation. I think you maybe see some openers. I mean, maybe they give. I honestly couldn't see Hans Kraus, which I believe is our number 3 or number 4 prospect, possibly get a spot in that rotation just for a short period of time. Because honestly, I don't think Wheeler's going to miss a ton of time. but maybe seeing an opener every 5th day. I hope that's not true, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Wow. So yeah, I didn't even. That's why I got you here, because I didn't even realize that you had so many injuries with the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
That's not great, but not at all. But we can look at the lineup. This a potential lineup. See if this is a little closer, a little healthier. Hopefully, I'm not really sure, but this is just a sample lineup. A roto champ. Does this sound about right?
Yeah, I think Kyle Schwarber is going to be a leadoff hitter because he has a great ability at getting on base. Honestly, I think I've heard a lot of people say that Rhys Hoskins, and I believe this too, should be in the 2-hole just because also he has a great ability to see the baseball, and he led the National League in walks in 2019. Here's the thing. I mean, I think that he kind of goes in and out with getting on base. I mean, he's pretty consistent, but he kind of has his ebbs and flows with that. I think it kind of just depends on the day and where he's at. If he's like launching home runs and he's hot, like, he can be at times. He's just one of the streakiest players I've ever seen, but I don't think you put him in the 2-hole. But I think you should put him in the 2-hole. But Harper hitting 3rd, I agree with that. And I see Nick Castellanos, hitting in the 4-hole. And this goes to show you how deep this lineup is. I mean, JT Muto, is your number 6 hitter?
Yeah, number 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just a lethal lineup. It really, really is. Well, I think JT would be the 5-hole hitter, but with Gene Segura behind him. But when I understand that there's been some concerns that this team probably will not have the best luck of stealing bases and stretching doubles and the triples, just because we have a lot of sluggers on our team and we don't really have a lot of guys that can run. We just don't. Speed is not one of our strong suits right now. That's okay. I mean, just as long as we can go out there and score runs, that's fine.
Yeah, and this lineup, like you said, real lethal. This is going to have to the offense going to have to be real strong to start the year while we're waiting for those starters to come off injury. But I mean, the lineup was already strong. You had REALMUTO, you had Harper, Hoskins, Gregorius, Alec Bowman. Then you add Castellanos, you add Kyle Schwarber. You lost a couple guys, but I think it's stronger than it was last year.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of uncertainty in the lockout. I did think for a while we were going to get Kyle Schwarber. There wasn't much doubt in my mind that we were going to get him. But Nick Castellanos did not seem realistic, and I just can't believe they did it.
The Kyle Schwarber rumors were happening before the lockout.
Yeah, so, they were close to getting it done before. Yeah.
Right. So I was surprised that they didn't lock him up, and then luckily they got him anyway. So yeah, really strong lineup, and we'll get into some of the other guys as well that could help out. But then there's the big problem we mentioned earlier that the Phillies have suffered last few years has been that bullpen. And
my gosh.
It's been bad. I see you got Sam Coonrod, who's a former Giant. I remember you got him. You got him in a trade.
You got him for basically nothing.
Yeah. He throws hard though, in 98, 99. But
oh my gosh.
So Alvarado.
Also Jose does.
Alvarado. So you got some gas there. You got Corey Knebel you picked up.
You just can't locate it. That's the only problem. Jose I always said I love his stuff, but he can't locate it. He just cannot locate it.
Right.
He's so wild. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Me. He has a really bad temper too. I think he's
really
emotional, and I think he lets it affect him on the mound.
Yeah, that's not good. I've heard a lot of good stuff about Connor Brogdon. I don't know how he's been doing for y'all.
He's a young guy. Like many of the, especially the young relievers. I mean, very, very inconsistent. A guy that just, was really doing well. I think this was against you guys. I think it was April 20th or something like that. I think we had a 5-0 lead, and then we brought him in, and then he, just totally just imploded, and you guys ended up winning the game because you're a Giants fan. Yeah, so that's
right.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has potential. I really do, and I'm definitely hopeful about him. But he's okay. He's okay. I think the verdict is still out on Connor Brogdon.
Okay, yeah, and then obviously picked up Familia, Jojo Romero. I mean, overall, you think it's good?
Yeah, Jojo Romero. No, he's still recovering from TJ.
Okay.
David Falter excites me. I like that. I think he's going to be really
Falter.
Good. Yeah, and also and Seranthony Dominguez, a guy that was out from June of 2019 up until the game 162 of last year. So this is a guy that just was absolute gas. Another guy has some trouble locating it, but I'm still hopeful of this guy too.
So I mean, it looks like you got some good young arms. You got some veteran arms. Is it going to be better?
That's the problem. Yeah.
Right.
That's my biggest concern.
Looks like the concern is just the pitching all around.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Right, 100%. There's
Yeah.
a lot of ifs. If this works.
I think it's your time. I think the Phillies have had enough, bullpen implosions. At some point, they're going to come together because there's decent names here. At some point, you're not going to be the, worst bullpen in the league,
Right.
So,
Exactly.
yeah. So, I personally don't think it's that bad. I don't know who your closer. Did you say who your closer is going to be? Maybe
I think it may be Corey Knebel. Originally, it came out and said
Corey
no, it's
Knebel.
not, but I saw something the other day that had him as the closer, and it seems like there's been some talk about him as being as the closer. But also, I could see Brad Hand also getting that spot, or maybe one of those things which I don't like, that it kind of just depends on the night.
Oh yeah,
who's going to be the closer. It's not really going to be a one set guy, and that's
Right.
a problem.
closer
I
by
like a
committee.
structured bullpen.
Yeah. Giants
Yeah.
have done that in the past. I don't like it either. I like your guy, your ninth inning comes in, it shuts the door, game over. Any of these bench guys anyone else you wanted to mention you think is gonna? I don't even know all these guys. Odubel Herrera, Matt Vierling.
Oh yeah, well, with Odubel, he really did, sort of kind of improve in 2021 in a weird way because he cut back on the strikeouts. The percentage was a little bit lower. And he's the kind of guy that, as I said before, speed is a bit of a problem on this team. And Odubel Herrera, he definitely, can, show a decent amount of speed. Not anything, spectacular by any stretch.
Right.
He can run. He kind of does scare me out there in center field. He's made some boneheaded, defensive, woes out there. But he's a very streaky hitter. Definitely a unique swing. But he doesn't have the best plate discipline. But as I said, he has cut back on the strikeouts. And when he's hot, he could definitely be something fun to watch. But
That's awesome. And obviously Bryce Harper, the MVP. We already know that this dude is amazing. And again, you added a lot. Didi Gregorius is a big name. So
he didn't do so well last year. He was by far the worst year of his career. But I'm not going to put that he could bounce back. I'm not.
Which one, Didi?
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible defense, and maybe even worse offense. Terrible. He was terrible on both sides of the ball. Terrible.
That's not good.
No.
Yeah. Well,
14 million hours a year. For 2 years. So.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Mhm.
I knew he had an off year, but I didn't know it was that bad. So
yeah, it was bad.
hopefully he has a bounce back year.
Uh-huh.
But last thing, just real quick, because obviously injuries happen, things like that. Are there any of these prospects that obviously Mick Abel's probably away, but Bryson Stott, are we going to see him this year?
I do. There's not, especially with Didi struggles. I think you're definitely going to see him. He is just one of the nicest strokes, and I think I've ever seen. This guy, the barrel to the ball is just insane, man. I love that guy. I love watching him play, especially in the Arizona Fall League. Yohan Rojas, even though he's number 6, I think I'd honestly probably even higher. By far probably the future center fielder for the Phils. Down the line eventually. Not a guy you're going to see, this year, of course, but
right.
Hans Kraus from the Kyle Gibson trade, gave up a home run the first pitch he threw last year against the Pirates. Not a good start, but as I said, only 23. I like him a lot. He definitely, would be, someone that I keep my eye on, especially now with the rotation having some issues, as I discussed before.
Right.
Logan O'Hoppe, Ortiz, and guys we're seeing in spring training right now. Not really guys that I really see being, key factors, down the line. Mickey Moniak, a huge bust. There's supposed to be something, I remember when we drafted him, he's supposed to be like the next Mike Trout. He's done nothing.
Right. Yeah.
He's done absolutely nothing. The Phillies have had a lot of problems developing prospects. It's just been awful. Yeah.
That's
Nick Abel, Andrew Painter, those guys could throw. Just absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely excited, to see what they're going to do. They definitely really excite me.
Yeah, I remember them. I remember y'all drafting him, Andrew Painter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. But awesome. So it doesn't look too bad. Obviously, you got some competition in the East with the Braves, the world champion Braves. The Mets always improving. I don't know if the Nationals or Marlins are a big concern, but yeah. So pretty much the Braves, Mets, Phillies, probably one of those three are going to take it. I know you're a Phillies fan, but do you have any thoughts on the? Are you really worried about the Mets, or are they going to fall apart again? Like last year.
here's the thing. I mean, like, Bassett was a great pickup, definitely an underrated pickup. I mean, I really honestly, objectively saying, I don't really think he's talked much about. I mean, this guy is going to be great for them. I really do.
Yeah.
But DeGrom, he's had some health issues. I understand when he's on the field, he's like legendary, like Hall of Fame numbers. He's unbelievable, doing stuff that hasn't been done in 50 years. But Max Scherzer. I mean, I'm a huge Max Scherzer fan. Don't get me wrong, but 37 years old. $43 million a year for the next 3 years. I mean, is that a bit of a concern? Possibly. I think they're going all in, and kind of what the Phillies are doing. Not to that degree, but they're like they got some older players, man. They're just going all in. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I do think that the Mets scare me a little bit. Their offense, if they can stay healthy, if Pete Alonso continued to just like hit like what he did, like over 50 home runs in 2019. He's probably going to hit like 40 plus.
Yeah,
power hitter right there. If Lindor can return to form. To switch it back there. So the Mets, I mean, their bullpen, their pitching staff definitely better than the Phillies. I'd say the Phillies offense may be a tad better than the Mets, but the Mets, as I said, pitching wins games, and honestly, I do think the Mets have the better pitching staff. The Braves, I mean, they lost Freeman, but then they went out and locked up the Matt Olson.
Matt Olson,
the guy that can hit 40 home runs a year. Not much of a loss there, really. I mean, of course, Freddie Freeman definitely better. But Matt Olson, definitely not too far behind. And Acuna's not going to be ready for opening day. So,
right.
I do think that will affect them, significantly. And the rotation has a tendency to be sort of inconsistent at times. I'm not really, Charlie Moore and the guys, getting up there in age, so especially now, I will say this, with the addition of Kenley Jansen now in the bullpen, that solidifies the back end now. And, Will Smith, wasn't fantastic last year by any stretch, but, I think he's a guy that, possibly could, bounce back. And we've seen him in years prior that he's, I believe he played for your Giants at one time. So, yeah. So hopefully, hopefully he doesn't, but I'm sort of hoping that, he can do that. Their bullpen, definitely better than us. So the Mets and Mets and Braves definitely better bullpens than the Phillies. As I said, their rotation has a tendency to kind of be, fair weather.
Exactly. And with the expanded playoff, y'all, finishing second last year. If you have and I think the lineup has improved. And once the rotation gets healthy, I don't see any reason why you can't make the playoffs again. Even if you don't win the division, in playoffs, anything can happen. So, I like your Phillies. I think I got them finishing second again. At worst, maybe you win the division, but it's just kind of the right things have to go right, with the bullpen.
A lot of ifs.
Yeah, a lot of ifs. So, but I don't trust the Mets. I'm not picking the Mets anymore.
No,
I just don't. Yeah, I don't trust the Mets. And the Nationals and Marlins aren't that great. So, really only got to worry about the Braves in my mind. Mets could surprise. Mets could win the division because they got the talent. But
I can't disagree with that. Yep.
Yeah. They could, but I'm not going to pick it because every time I pick them, they fall apart. But
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. But I really appreciate jumping in. Everyone, let's see if I can bring up your channel one more time. Make sure, especially if y'all are Phillies fans watching this, jump over to Phillies Hot Stove Media. Click on that link. Get to 1,000 subscribers here as soon as possible, and really appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you, man.
All right. No problem, bro. I'll talk to you next time. Straight to the hole. I got no chance of